Well, welcome, Angelina and Randy. It's a pleasure to speak with you both again. And Angelina, for all new viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Angelina Mondavi. I'm fourth generation of the Mondavi family, but I'm also the consulting winemaker for Flat Top Hills Wines. And I'm really excited about this project and what we're going to be announcing today, which is our Flat Top Hills Pinot Noir. So I'm super excited about it. And yeah.
Awesome. I'm Randy Heron. I'm the winemaker for CK Mondavi, and also I would say the partner in crime with Angelina on Flat Top Hills. It's definitely a joint project that we work on together, and a lot of laughter and passion.
That's great. Cat's out of the bag, and there's the Pinot Noir. So that's I'm looking forward to discuss with you guys today. So Angelina, can you tell me a little bit about Flat Top Hills and how it all started?
Yeah, Flat Top Hills was really an inspiration from my childhood and my siblings' childhood and cousins' childhood. And it really based off of our property in Dunnigan Hills, which is in Yolo County. It's about an hour and a half drive east of where we are here in Napa Valley. And we have just shy of almost 2,000 acres over there. And they have these flat top hills, but they're pretty substantially sized. And we used to play there and play hide and seek in the vineyards and roll down the hills with the dogs and, fish in the pond and paddleboard. So we have a lot of fun memories there. So that's where the inspiration really kind of came from. But the name Flat Top Hills really came from the actual description of what those hills actually look like. So if you're in the distance, they truly look like flat top hills. And that's where the name came from.
That's awesome. Great history behind that. And I love those personal moments of, your upbringing in that property. So, and Randy, tell me a little bit about yourself as well on how are you involved in the Flat Top Hills brand?
Well, in Flat Top, one of the things that we talk about myself is been winemaking like Angelina all around the world. Both of us have extended periods overseas in our career and background. And one of our passions about Flat Top Hills, there's two goals: is we want to be pure to varietal style and fruit forward, but also we are a true believer, and the Mondavi family is a true believer in sustainability, which we, at Dunnigan Ranch that she was talking about, not only do we use, sheep for, low impact farming, we also fish friendly, water conservative, all tick all the boxes on sustainability that we're looking, to keep going in the future. So it's still there for the fifth generation in Angelina's family.
That's right. I saw that on the label. Now it says 5 generations. So.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I think one of the important things to note is obviously with our family being in the industry for as long as we have, we started in the shipping industry, and the grocery industry is how my great grandparents got started 103 years ago. Believe it or not. And then it slowly morphed into prohibition, where it was legal to make wine in 200 gallons in everyone's homes, to now actually owning our own vineyards, 900 acres in Napa Valley, and then the shy of, 2,000 close to 2,000 acres in Dunnigan Hills. Having that lineage and that legacy of being able to own our own vineyards and having the complete autonomy of controlling our vineyards. So we're maintaining the level of quality that we're looking for. But then also, because we've been in the industry so long, we have relationships. Randy also has relationships with growers throughout California. And that's something that's really, really exciting, because we can actually call them up and say, hey, this is what we're really looking for. We would like to see a little bit of this, and we can work with them to really, first and foremost, it goes back to my grandfather's quote, everything starts in the vineyards. So if you have great quality fruit, it starts in the vineyards. It makes Randy's and my job a whole heck of a lot easier. And our 2021 Pinot Noir is just that. The ability to source from regions, from growers that our family's been working with for an extended period of time is pretty epic.
No, it is. And now, Randy, obviously this is a complete new wine.
Mm-hmm.
So why the Pinot Noir? I know I've been asking for it, and I thank you for delivering, but what?
Well, And one of the things is the Pinot Noir is actually, I think, really in the price range and categories underrepresented, and the varietals underrepresented for what's out there. And also, Pinot Noir is a winemaker's wine. It challenges you as a winemaker to be, especially when you're trying to be pure in style and flavor and overall delivery. So, they're all a challenge, but if you can make an outstanding Pinot, that really is saying something about our abilities of blending, sourcing. Angelina was talking about and stretching our abilities, and then so that's one of the things is that we think it's a great opportunity in this category and price range. And I think making a really nice Pinot, approachable Pinot, I think the people want it, and affordable Pinot.
Right. So what's your price point?
$15.99 a bottle.
Very nice. I mean, that's definitely an affordable price to try out, your Pinot. Who wouldn't want to buy it? Beautiful aromatics are coming, out of that glass. But Angelina, what was your inspiration of this?
Yeah, first and foremost, our family is all about quality, but then it's also trying to maintain and stay true to what the variety actually is. And I think that that's super, super important. So we always knew that we wanted to create a Pinot Noir in the portfolio, and we think it's like a perfect segue after our other varietals that we've created along with the red blend. The Pinot Noir really just fits into the portfolio so amazingly well. And, it's one of these wines that it kind of fits and works with what our family's known for, which is getting together for gatherings and being able to enjoy a great bottle of wine. And this Pinot does exactly that. You could have this at the holidays with either a rack of lamb, turkey. I can't wait to try this with my turkey recipe, or even an herb crusted lamb, even a pork chop for that matter. You can't really go wrong with this wine. And I think it's just a perfect fit for what we're missing from the beginning.
Got it. No, I think I think you almost went full circle, right? Because you have such a beautiful lineup.
Thank you.
And so I think this is tip of the spear of, I think something else could come out next. I mean, you guys are surprising us every year now with something really good. So really looking forward to whatever is going to come out next as well. So
thanks.
So Angelina, tell me about the sourcing and where you guys are actually pulling all your grapes from.
Yeah. So part of it comes from our Dunnigan Hills property, but we're sourcing a little bit of that Pinot kind of in a cooler area, like the more cooler area. But it has a little bit more body. And then we're sourcing from areas such as Monterey Bay, as well as Carneros area, which are much cooler, have that beautiful bright acidity and that and a little bit more of that backbone, but without being too over powerful. So you're still getting those beautiful red fruit characteristics that you can taste in the wine that I think are very, very important for Pinot Noir.
No, great reasons. You said Monterey. I'm like, that's the cooler climate, right? That's definitely
absolutely
makes a big difference on the grapes.
It's a huge difference. And we added a little bit of that in. It really, for me, it really kind of brought the whole project together 100% and really made it how we really like it.
We also added a touch of Petit Verdot, just to kind of give it a little more fruit, a little more kind of fill in the gaps. And that's why I think it's such a smooth, consistent, silky wine on the palate. You taste it, and it just you get the layers right through. It's not too heavy, really good. I think the tannin balance for Pinot Noir is very important. And I think that's one of the things you get the fruit, but also hitting the balance of the tannins. So it's not too bitey, almost sometimes some Pinot Noir, but it's just smooth fruit all the way to the back and really shows nice flavor, and then a nice just little oak on the palate.
No, you're right. I think sometimes the Pinots, the acidity level kind of gets you right in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, obviously I took a sneak peek of this and I tasted it and it didn't do that. And I was like, wow. And it's just the aromatics of this is beautiful. The tannins, they're right on. And the acidity level on this, it's so balanced. Beautiful. So let's start tasting, right? So
on the nose, you're going to get a beautiful little I always say there's almost like a hint of savory, like a touch of thyme and a little bit of oregano right off the kick. But you're also getting that red raspberry, that red cherry characteristics that I absolutely love. But then what really kind of solidifies it for me is you're getting just a hint of that red stone fruit. So a touch of nectarine skin almost, and even like a hint of peach for me, that is just slightly underripe, which I absolutely love when I'm tasting a Pinot Noir, because that to me tells me that there's going to be that beautiful acidity and that bite that I absolutely love. And there's always just a touch. I've noticed the last couple of times that I've tasted this wine, there's always a touch of mint that kind of comes through, which is really interesting and intriguing to me. And I think it comes from the Monterey blend, but it wasn't prevalent in the standalone wine. It really showed itself once we actually blended it all together. So it's a fun wine.
Well, I absolutely agree with the mint. And I think actually, since we've bottled it, the mint's come a little more pronounced. And it's coming through more as the wine's just kind of settling, which is a really interesting layer to me. I agree with you. The tannins, I don't think we could have done it any better. They're just subtle and soft, but it's not a sweet wine. It's not a juicy wine. The tannins are not mitigated that way. They're actually, it's the due diligence we did up front to make sure that we kind of hit the tannin profile. And the fruit, and to me, just finishes so nice, so easy, and like you said, no acid bite, no kind of greenness that you can kind of get in a Pinot Noir for a tannin, and it's just really, it's really delicate and elegant.
Well put. I like that. So now to the favorite part, Angelina. What do we pair this with?
Well, I kind of alluded to a few things earlier. Right. Perfect for Thanksgiving, really, or even Christmas. So, maybe a pork loin with a honey glaze on it. You could do a beet and goat cheese salad with this, with kale. I think would be absolutely amazing with a touch of toasted pumpkin seeds, or even sunflower seeds on it, because of that earthiness, that slight earthiness, and that plum in that wine. I think it would really go really, really well. I am itching to try this with duck, as well as even turkey. So I think you can't really go wrong with this. I feel like this wine is probably more versatile than any of the other wines that we've actually made in the portfolio. So I think you can go in all sorts of different directions, and I don't think you'll botch it.
For me, I can do the ultimate farm to table, because the grower that sells me the Pinot Noir also gives me lamb off his farm. And I would take his lamb chops with his Pinot Noir grapes. And I think that would and it wouldn't take much, just a little olive oil, a little seasoning, and just because usually I get really fresh lamb from him. And so, there's advantage of being the winemaker. You always get a little something, a little extra meat or something, but I think it would go great with just a simple lamb chop with some rosemary, thyme, just to you don't have to overcook it, and just show the lamb, but to have the lamb and the grapes come from the same family. And it's a family-run farm too. It's not a corp. It's just amazing. It's an amazing attribute.
No, it is. I normally drink a lot of Pinot from Sebastopol, a lot of the wine region there.
Yeah.
This, and those, for the price point, this is a top performer as the other bottles of Pinot. When you think of that equivalent, just the flavor profile and how well balanced it is, and how I'm just thinking, like you said, something so light, because of all the cherry, the plum, all that just comes out so well in this. It's like, you could drink this on your own. You don't even really need a meal. I mean, this is perfect for this great.
This is your app.
Right? Being, a big foodie as well, I'm always looking beforehand when I'm going to cook something, what am I going to pair it with, right? And if I've been a fan of Flat Top Hills, and I've always shared it with my close friends, and they're all become fans as well. They're just like, wow, this is amazing. Where can we get it? This is amazing. So, because it just performs, with that fifth generation mentality, you guys really put your heart and soul on things, and it really reflects on your product.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that.
Say thank you again for your time. Thank you for all you do for the community, and also for the sustainable practices you guys always perform to make such an extraordinary wine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, Oscar.
You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.
I'm Randy Heron, the winemaker for Flat Top Hills, and we're introducing our new Pinot Noir. And I just want to say it's elegant and delicate, and I hope you all enjoy it for the holidays.
Hi, I'm Angeline Mondavi, consulting winemaker for Flat Top Hills and fourth generation of the Mondavi family. And I love this Pinot Noir because it's perfect for the holidays get together. Looking for something simple and easy to drink, it's your wine.
And I'm Oscar Peralta from Beyond the Taste, and I'm a big fan of Flat Top Hills' complete lineup. But this one, I think it's going to be my new favorite.